So welcome, guys, to the Power Half Hour each week, Wednesdays at 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We talk to a top agent, and no different this week. We have an absolute treat for you guys today. John Cho.
Hey guys.
Check him out. Check him out on TikTok. Please follow him and see what he does. It's just amazing, and you are on fire. So without further ado, Mr. John Cho, welcome.
Hey guys, I am pretty excited. I've never been to like a podcast thing like this before, so it's kind of weird, but all right.
Yeah, so we were just talking a little bit here, but John, being able to do 45 transactions in your first year, how long have you been selling now total in real estate?
So I started in February 2019, so I'm still very, very new. But did you ask me like total amount of real estate that I sold?
Yeah, total amount of real estate since you've been in real estate selling resale.
So I guess I have to go back and check my numbers. I kind of like upload them on Zillow to go back and record it. But I wasn't too heavily into just selling. But I kind of shifted my focus on investing, and but I still do sell. So
you still do sell. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see real estate as regular transaction as a side income now. And I see more of investment opportunity as my main income.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You did, I think it was TikTok that you talked about, because your transaction commissions are lower.
Yeah.
So then when you invest, you actually make the bigger paycheck.
Right. So to put it in perspective, our area, guys, there's about 300,000 people in our area, in the Pensacola area, and our median income is 27 grand. So a lot of our homes here are $200,000 to $300,000 homes. That's the most sales that we see. So the commission on that is going to equate after the cut. It's usually around 2.5% to 3%. So it's not much. However, of course, if you have a ton of transactions, you can get a lot of money from that, because I know agents here that have been doing it for 20 plus years. They're making, over $1 million in commission.
Wow.
So yeah.
With homes they're selling homes 100 to 200,000 and they're making $1 million a year.
Yeah, but they're doing like 200 and 300 homes a year because they have to. So
do you have a team yourself right now, or just you?
I do not have a team, but I am in the process of getting my broker's license.
Nice.
I have a big opportunity coming here where they are wanting me to become a broker and then partner up. So that's what is in the process. So
nice, man. Well, congratulations on that. You're always taking it to the next level, and you're always sharing a lot of good things on TikTok and social media. I think what a lot of us want to know, especially the newer ones, right? How did you do 45 transactions your first year in real estate?
First year. Well, guys, when I first started, I was actually selling cell phones before getting into real estate. So for me, I had that sales experience, and I didn't realize I had that sales experience until I started selling cell phones, because my first year, I ended up placing in top 12 as a rookie agent for selling cell phones, and we got paid commission there. And then that's when I found a real estate agent where she came to me and she asked me, hey, I think you'll be a great real estate agent. So I said, okay. I don't know if I want to, just because I was kind of feeling comfortable selling cell phones. But we went back and forth for 2 hours. She said, no, you need to become a real estate agent. And I was like, no, I don't really feel like it. But then she said 20K checks are nice. And that kind of hit home for me, because my parents used to only make $20,000 a year. Wow. So for me, I was like, wait, if I could make 20K in just one check, that's going to be huge, because that's exactly how much my parents used to make. So that kind of motivated me. And then that's when I started taking the real estate courses. And it took me about 6 months to finish and finally get licensed in and found a brokerage. And for my first month, I didn't make any money, didn't have any closing. Second month, I didn't have any closing either. And then by the third month, I was actually looking for medical sales job just because, money was getting really, really tight. And I didn't realize, oh man, if I don't make any money, and I'm looking at my savings account and my checkings account and it's low. And I was like, okay, if I don't make any money now, I'm about to lose the house and I'm about to lose the car.
Yeah.
So, because I have a wife too. So I was like, oh man, and during those period, I was door knocking 8 hours a day,
Wow.
calling 4 hours a day, and then also door knocking again for 4 hours. So I was doing all the work, but I still wasn't seeing any result. So, every time I kind of felt like down and low, I was like, okay, I just need to get out there and just keep door knocking, just because I didn't have any kind of connections. I only had like 100 people in my phone contacts and not a lot of Facebook friends and not a lot of people wanting to sell or buy. And so I was just like, okay, this is getting really, really bad. However, those door knocking actually started paying off, and me asking other agents like, hey, do you have any kind of buyers that you don't want to take, that you don't have time for? So these are like really top producing agents that have buyers on the back burner.
Right.
And I kept asking them, hey, like if there's anything I could do for you guys, that would be awesome. And then on my third month, I actually had 5 closings, which was insane. I know. So all of that just hit during the third month.
Right.
So I'm really glad I didn't switch to like just medical sales, and I just stuck it out. So yeah. And then after that 5 transactions, I kept doing it, and more clients came to me from those door knocking days. And then they wanted me to list their house. And then once I listed their house, I got the buyers to use me as well. And so the cycle kept repeating and repeating and repeating. So that's how I was able to close a 45 transaction in a year. Yeah.
But guys, so that's basically you put in the time. I mean, did you say 8 hours of door knocking?
8 hours of door knocking, and it was crazy because I was still wearing my suit the whole time.
Oh my goodness.
But I did buy a pair of Cole Haans. They had like Nike bottoms, and they helped me a ton. they helped me a ton, just walking, and I was getting like blisters as well. But in my mind, I was just thinking of my reason why I'm doing this. And every time I'm like, oh man, this stinks, because like people would like cuss at you and they'll get mad at you just because like you're in front of their door, and people just hate solicitation. I had people come up to me where the HOA owners stopped me in the middle of door knocking, and I was like, hey, I'm just your neighborhood realtor. But that's the thing. I would always tell everyone that I am their neighborhood realtor. So they were like, oh, he lives in our neighbor. I mean, I don't technically live in your neighborhood, but I am in this area. So I am your neighborhood realtor. And that kind of helped people when they come up to your door. They're like, oh, you're my neighborhood realtor. Okay, let me open my door even wider now. And I'm not in a defensive position anymore because I said I'm your neighborhood realtor. And I'm just here to see if you or your family or your friends are wanting to sell their house. Like, I just wanted to introduce myself because I am your neighborhood realtor.
Nice.
So I kept going on, subdivision after subdivision, and that's how I got started. So that was pretty much it.
Dude, amazing story. No online lead generation, no marketing.
Yes, none of that. And I wish and I know some agents get that online leads and they pay per leads, but at that time, for me, I didn't have any kind of money to start out with. The cheapest way for me to get my return on investment was printing out those pamphlets. Because when I door knock, I would always have like, hi, my name is John Cho. I'm your neighborhood realtor. And then I'll kind of give my background information, and I would like to help you serve your friends or family, or even you if you're wanting to sell. So I always had that because not a lot of people would come to the door and they would not be at home, but they would see that thing in their door and that pamphlet. And then once they see that and they want to sell, and they would call me, and I got one listing, like several listings from that, and where I also gained a buyer, and then
Wow.
their buyers, the buyers that I had a family who needed to sell, so I got their listing as well. So it kind of was like a chain reaction.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you put in the work, right? I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's no magic bullet.
Mhm.
There was no
Yeah.
magic in what you did, guys. I was trying to hear some magic in there, but it was no magic. It was just hard work. So 8 hours of door knocking and then 4 hours of calling. That's 12 hours of prospecting.
Yeah. So sometimes I would do like on Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays. I would really focus on door knocking. Actually, on Saturdays the most, because I know people usually stay home during Saturdays.
Yeah.
But on Fridays, like early in the morning, from 9 to like till lunch, I would call people, and then I would get angsty because like I have ADHD. I can't really sit for so long. So
Mhm.
then I was like, okay, I need to go out and do some action, and then that's when I would door knock too for several
Mm.
hours.
So you
So,
just like had this energy pent up in you. You had to get out and just talk to people.
well, I would say yes and no, but it was mostly like I knew that if I didn't put in the work, I would go broke because I quit my other job where I was doing super well.
Right.
And to achieve the financial freedom that I wanted, I wanted to make sure like I don't stop. I do this and I need to do this.
Yeah.
It was like I had no choice but to do those actions.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I mean, I think, well, the immediate state that you had at hand is like you had a car, you had a house, which you still have, and then you have a wife. So you got to
yeah,
get to work. But I want to circle back to what you told me before is your upbringing,
yeah.
growing up poor. How did that affect you in being
Mhm.
motivated today?
Well, guys, I grew up extremely poor. At this, it's kind of like I hated it. I really hated. Like when the bus came, I would actually like walk to another street, or just because I didn't want people to know where I lived. And my parents, like I said, they only made 20K a year, so we struggled every time. Like I know I just remember all these horrible events. The biggest thing that I would say is like, no, the second biggest thing for me that really hit. Actually, sorry guys, I get a little angsty when I talk about this. So, when I was in high school, middle school, when we always, I used to be in a soccer team, and when we go to away soccer games and it was time to eat, I didn't have any money, so I would be the
Mm.
only one sitting at the bus, just like super hungry, and I wouldn't tell anybody just because I was kind of embarrassed where my financial situation was and my parents were. And then when it comes to graduation, my parents couldn't make it to none of my brothers and my ceremony just because they couldn't afford the plane ticket. So I was like the only guy there at graduation without a parent. So that kind of like hit that kind of like set something off in me. And then the last thing was like my brother, we knew something was wrong with my brother, and something was growing on his neck gradually every day, and we knew that, and we had a feeling something was really extremely wrong. And but our plane ticket that we booked was 4 months ahead, and we couldn't just book a plane ticket just because we didn't have any money in the bank. And then once that 4 month came, you know we were able to come to the States and then get examined. And then the doctor said, hey, you have a stage 4 thyroid cancer. You need to get this thing immediately done. And so for me, not having able to have that, not able to see my parents to afford, a plane ticket and get checkup, and it made him gradually worse. So for me, I took that to heart, and I used that as my why I need to become super successful and use
Wow.
that pain and becoming the top 1%, and just to help other people, because that's what I've been doing as well, where A lot of people like missionaries. I know I'm sponsoring some missionaries already. They came to me and they were asking, hey, is there any way you could help us? And I was so happy when they came to me, because every time in my life, it was my parents asking other people if they can sponsor us, because I've seen that happen. So I use that why and my reason why I need to become successful, and why I need to door knock 8 hours a day, and why I need to achieve that financial freedom is just for my future and my future family's freedom, and to help other people that are in that back situation. So that's why I do the things what I do, and that's why I'm trying to always grow and learn from it. So
Yeah, man. First of all, thank you so much for sharing all that. That was it got deep in me, man. I felt that,
yeah.
and thank you. And it's very inspirational what you're doing today, and I could see the why, and I could see your energy through. We've obviously never met in person, but I could feel your energy through the screen, and just want to say thank you for that, man. That's amazing. So how long has it been since you've seen your parents?
I think it was like last year, but they're just in Africa. They're missionaries there, so like they come here and there visit. So yeah, it's been great.
How long have they been in Africa doing the missionaries?
1994. So they've been
1990. So that's 20. Wait.
yeah, I'm 1993. I was born in 1993. So they've been there for 28 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So you've been around the globe then,
Yeah.
Africa, Korea.
Yeah. So I'm like a foreigner everywhere. Like if I go to Tanzania, they're like China, just because I'm like yellow. So like, and then if I go to like the States, they're anyways. Yeah, it's just
Oh
been,
man.
I was always a foreigner, which was, and speaking of being a foreigner, I'm noticing a lot of, people here are a minority. So, and I had a lot of people ask me, hey, how are you doing so well? Has your race affected you? And
Mm-hmm.
I told them this, hey, like, let's say people don't want to hire me just because I'm not the same color or the same race. That's fine, because a lot of my clients have been the same race as me, and I've actually, it's for me, that was kind of like an advantage for me, where they wanted to hire me, where they wanted to sell their home, but every other realtor wasn't the same race as them. What I'm trying to say is, like, I know a lot of people focus on the negatives, but if you
Mm-hmm.
focus on the positive, like, you would get business from that. Like, just because I'm a minority doesn't mean I'm not going to get business, but rather if you change that mindset, thinking, oh, because I'm a minority, I can actually appeal to some other group that might want to work with me. So I've had those questions come up. So that's what I want to tell you guys too.
Yeah, a lot of minorities here and a lot of newer agents
Yeah.
too. So this is very inspirational. So guys, I mean, put in the hard work, focus on the positives. It's it's not easy, but it's actually very simple. And from talking to you, you just had a one-track mind. You just kept moving forward. So on the days that got tough, John, what would you say you think about to keep moving forward?
On the days that got tough, as in, so I turned into investment, where just because, like, I know, because I heard the markets go up and down. So
Right.
that's why I turned my mindset into fixing and flipping and trying to get passive income. So after a year of being in the market, where I helped a lot of sellers and buyers, and I automatically knew if this house was 1,300 square feet in this area, that should sell about for 150 grand. So I used that knowledge and mindset into starting to do investment. And so my first investment property, I got really lucky, guys. I was driving for dollars and I found a house. And at that moment, I only had like 10 grand to spend. So I literally offered the guy 10 grand for the house. And I thought he
Wow.
was just going to tell me to get out of here, but he didn't. He said, okay, 10 grand. I'll sell this house for 10 grand. And then, but he was like, well, but there's one problem. There's 10 grand in back taxes that I need to pay. And I was like, okay, all right. But at that time, since I was in real estate, I started to make a lot of connections. So I knew people who had money, and I knew that if I presented them this deal, they'll say yes in a matter of seconds. And that's exactly what happened. 10 grand in purchase price, 10 grand in back taxes, and then another 100 grand in fixing it up.
Whoa.
And then after we fixed it up, we put it on the market, and then it sold for 290,000. So
Well,
that was that.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah.
10 grand you bought it for. There's a 10
grand.
grand in back taxes, 100,000 in fixing it up. You sold it for 290.
290, which was like crazy. Yeah. So I actually made a YouTube video about that too.
Yeah.
Just because
who wants to go to Pensacola and talk to John?
Just because I knew it was like once in a lifetime deal. And I feel like if I told people this, they'll be like, oh, he's lying. So I was like, you know what? Let's just video record this. And I have all the process down. And then once I started doing that, I was like, wow, I just made more than what I made in a year selling houses in this area. Because I'm not in a luxury area, guys. So the commissions are lower. So I was like, okay, let me just start focusing on investment properties. And then the next property, which was crazy, bought it for 70 grand. And then I was gonna fix it and flip it because the resale value was 165 grand. But after I bought it, within an hour, one of my investment friends came over and he said, hey, I need a place to live and I want something with good equity. I'll buy this from you for 120 grand. And I'll like
without doing anything.
Without doing anything, because it passed conventional loan. And I was like, man, okay. And then the conventional loan was 29 days out. So instead of fixing it, I was like, okay, I'll just sell it to you for 120 grand. 120 grand in sum. So I net exactly around 41 grand on that property. So that was my second. And then all I did was I kept accumulating cash and capital and then put it into a new investment. Wow. But as time went on, I'm on my 17th flip since 2020. But the problem is taxes are killing me right now. And I'm looking at these tax bills and I'm like, wow, like I could have literally just bought another house with this tax amount.
Oh my goodness.
So that's why I was like, and that's why I turned into buying passive income. Right now I have a huge deal that's going on. It's a 30-unit motel deal.
Wow.
And I found it on my own, and it's an amazing property because the seller is around 83 years old and he's been wanting to sell for 10 years. But he's had a lot of issues with communication and by the way, I'm super persistent and relentless. So I think he's had agents where they weren't too motivated, but I am super motivated just because I am going to be buying this property. So we're still in the works and, we're wanting to close in September. So he gave us an amazing deal just because I know he nets about $190,000 a year on that motel.
Wow.
But it's not up to full value.
Right.
And although he nets about 190 grand a year, he said he wants a fire sale. John, I'm going to give you a good incentive. Like I'll sell this to you for 1.45 million. And I'll also do seller financing, which is amazing. Yeah. So it's actually a home run deal. So, and I actually brought in another partner just because like I'm not as experienced and he's also going to be providing value with raising money because the seller did want about $500,000 in down payment. Yeah. But he knows where he can syndicate that money and use other people's investors' money because he knows a lot of really wealthy people where they need to spend their money ASAP so they get tax breaks. So we're going to be using that money to pay the down payment and then also give a good return on the investors. And also us being the primary owners of the motel, we're going to renovate. We're going to put about like 150 grand and raise the rent. And we calculated that the best and the highest amount we could do is to here. The motel makes 330K right now, but we can bump that up to 450 to 500K and
Wow.
then lower the expense ratio. So that's the deal that I'm working on right now, just because I don't like to pay taxes.
Yeah.
I don't want to do all this work and pay a huge amount of taxes, because that, to me, that doesn't make sense. And to me, being a real estate professional, I also want to show to other investors and show to other clients that, hey, you could do this with your money, and then maybe we can either partner up, or we could, do other real estate ventures. So I kind of want to show other real estate people that that I am a real estate professional, and there's a lot of things you could do in real estate.
Man, you got the track record for sure. So I think a lot of people would trust you with their money. Oh, we got a question here. Amazing story, John. Thank you. How are you finding these deals?
Okay, the deals, I have never purchased a single deal from the MLS, just because once it hits the MLS, a lot of people are interested and the prices keep going up.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be in a bidding war. However, I do have colleagues in Las Vegas where they only buy from the MLS, and they make a small ROI, but they do a ton of quantity. So I know they made about like 3 million just flipping houses through the MLS. But for me, I didn't have the kind of cash that they have. So I'm kind of starting like a lower amount. So for me, my ROI, I want it to be literally about 70% or 100%. Like if I'm putting 100K in, I want 200K out. And I know some of the colleagues who have money, they can just keep buying and buying, but their return on investment is low, about like 20%. So for me, it really depends on who you are and what kind of financial situation you are in. If you don't have that kind of cash, like you have to find amazing deals where, the numbers work. Like, for example, I bought 3 homes at once, and Hurricane Sally came through and trees fell on it. So money got really, really tight. However, there was this house that I bought for 59,000. And I said, okay, we need to sell this right now because we need money for the other projects. And now, since the trees fell on it, we're not going to have like the time to spend more time. So the house that I got for 59,000, I put in 2,000, cleaned it out, and put it on the MLS for 100,000. It sold within a week.
Wow. Are you door knocking these ones, or you just found them off it expired, or like
driving for dollars?
Driving for dollars, Jack. Driving around. That's it.
And then sometimes a lot of good deals that you can find is probates, guys.
Probates,
so pretty much, the parents die and the kids don't know what to do with it. And they're like, hey, I just want to get this thing off my chest. And some of them just don't really care. And at that time, of course, since I'm a realtor, I always put it on the paper that I am acting as an investor on my own interest, because I don't want to blur the lines where I'm a realtor versus an investor. When someone calls me and say, hey, they want to sell my house, and I say, okay, I'm going to be an investor here. And I always tell them, and as a realtor, if they call me as a realtor, I tell them that, okay, you can get X amount. I'm here for your interest first. But if they call me with because I send out mailers and postcards and
mailers, postcards.
Yeah. Got it. And if they call me from that, I'm an investor. Like I'm working for myself. But if someone calls me and say, hey, I need a realtor to sell my house, I'm a realtor. So,
there you go.
Yeah. So that's
Jack.
I
hope that helps. Yeah, Jack, I just want to say again, there's no magic. John puts in the hard work. He drives around, he door knocks, he sends out flyers. It's very simple. It's just not easy. And John's willing to put in the grind, man. John, we are almost out of time here. What advice would you have for the audience to finish, to keep going in 2021 and to hit their goals or invest and become wealthy like you?
Well, well, I'm not wealthy. I'm trying to get there.
Okay, dude, don't worry. You are 27 years old, man. You are 27. Let's not forget that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just the process of, because when I was door knocking, when I was calling, you know, it didn't feel like it's gonna give me results. Like you don't feel that, you don't feel like, am I doing the right thing? Like there's always gonna be that doubt. Like, is this what I need to be doing? Am I doing the right things? And there's no like halo is saying, oh yeah, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
It's just the numbers game
Uh,
where you knock X amount of doors, you're gonna get a return. Like,
yeah.
and then you follow up, and it's definitely the mindset game and the hustle game.
The hustle
Like it's,
game.
yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I am human. As I'm doing a lot of these work, sometimes I do get burnt out.
Yeah.
So sometimes I don't work for about a week or two, just be lazy, and then I get back in.
Nice.
This is me just speaking as a human perspective.
Yeah.
Because I know some people just say grind, 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 and hustle, hustle, hustle. But as humans, we do get burnt out, and I face that. But the thing is, I always make sure I trust the process and keep going. And although sometimes it doesn't feel right, it does lead to results if you just do your prospecting activities.
I love it. I love it. Guys, trust the process, put in the grind, but you will get burnt out and it's okay. John takes 2 weeks at a time just to like unwind. So it's okay. We are all human. John, how can we reach you, send you referrals, or join your group, your team?
Instagram, Facebook, and I love TikTok, guys. Yeah, so you guys message me on there too. It's fun being on TikTok.
15,000 followers within a month.
So it was but absolutely. Well, thanks for having me here. It's exciting. So for sure. Thanks, John. I appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing with us. And this was a good one, man. And I appreciate you sharing your heart out as well. So, all right, guys, make it a great day. We'll see y'all next week.
See you guys.
Thank you, John.